Hey, it's Mike from 424recording.com. In today's video, I have a chat with Tim about the artwork he created for the album I just released, Just the Trick.
Hey mom, keep it down. Try to rock it in the basement with the crowd.
I guess I was just reaching out to you because, obviously we've collaborated on the music and we've also collaborated on, I think you've done all the art for the Be Cool Cowboy stuff.
I think I did all of it except for the first single.
The Little Wiser.
The Little Wiser single.
Yeah, that was like a picture from Mary.
Yeah, that was the only thing I didn't have any part in. The rest of it was I did the art for.
Right. Yeah, so like I don't know, because that's when I approached you with like the idea for the project, like it was awesome. You were able to really like pump out these the single art, which is on 424recording.bandcamp.com, which I think I may take down. What I did was I put them all as like an archive within the downloads, so now people get them all. Mm-hmm. And they're also on the YouTube for each one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I like them too. I like how those turned out.
Yeah, so like what was like the inspiration for some of those? Because like I was thinking too, I could like cut to the pieces, but like
yeah. So
like Speak Your Truth, it was like kind of like the chicken one.
Yeah, the chicken one. I just listened to that song and I don't really know why exactly it appealed to me in this way, but it reminded me of like in my head all I could think of was those weird esoteric like vaporwave covers.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't really sound like that.
Right, yeah.
You know, but for some reason I just thought about it. Like
it.
Speak your truth, like the sentence speaking your truth is like kind of like a hippie sort of aesthetic, and I had just visited the that picture I took at the Woodstock Animal Sanctuary, which is like the hippiest place I've ever been. And for some reason, it just called me to do that. Use that something from that trip.
I didn't realize that was like a picture you had taken.
I've taken all those pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all pictures.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because the whole like vaporwave aesthetic is funny because like it doesn't sound anything like that.
It doesn't sound anything like that at all. But I think that's kind of why it's good. Like I think that what you got now that everything has been driven to its logical extreme, you got to do things that are the opposite of what use art that's the opposite of what it should be in some cases. Like that's not true for everything that I did. Like for the Me and the Machine, that art is how I felt listening to it.
Yeah.
Right. But for those singles, a lot of it was the title and the lyrics that I worked on.
Because I sent you like the song and then just like and you had the
Because it was in that case it was the lyrics
title,
that I built that piece on, because it was like this just really makes me think about like the way that these people talked at the animal sanctuary, like you gotta speak your truth, man.
That's
you know,
hilarious.
And so I was like, you know what would be funny if I used a picture I took during that trip, and like I picked the one that was like the most confusing, like the one that was the most kind of awkward, like this chicken just giving me the stink eye.
That's sick. That's so funny because like I didn't know that was like the impetus behind that.
They've all got a story. I mean,
so so Big Deal Man, right? That was the second one. And that is that in Joshua Tree? You said that?
Yeah, that's Joshua Tree.
And like, what about that one? And you were like, what gave you like the?
It just felt like a big song. Like it just felt like an epic space, and that one thing about the desert is like it's no bigger than here, it's just the earth, but it feels huge because you can see in all the directions. Around here it's like there's trees everywhere. Unless you're on top of the mountain, you can't really get a good view of anything, and it's in there it's so different. You don't need to be on top of anything, you can see in miles. It seems like you can see for miles in every direction. I'm sure you really can't, but that song just felt big and echoey and I don't know, sparse almost, and I was like, it kind of reminds me of that desert feeling. So that's another picture I took when I was on a trip out there, and I just did a little editing to the image.
It's sick, and it has the vaporwave like
same kind of I was really in that mode for those first two. I don't know really why, just like for some reason they just worked for me.
Because I think I sent you those two pretty quickly too, because I remember working on them like almost the songs like almost every day. I think I did like a couple of them I did I think on the same day, like maybe Fantasy and Horizon were like the same day. And I remember kind of like trying to send them to you like one at a time because I didn't want to like overload you, because also like sometimes when working on projects like this with people, like if the person doesn't have time and you're like inundating them with stuff, it gets to be like overwhelming.
It's like, oh god.
But you were like, and you're like, it was almost like I sent it to you, and then I got like an email back within like, or text back within like 5 or 10 minutes.
I mean, I've got in the back of my mind and on my computer, I have a series of images that I really like that I've taken, and I just kind of keep them separate. And I think that in the back of my mind, I keep them separate for stuff like this,
That's
like
cool.
to be cut and pasted into different like collages or album covers or whatever. And
well, yeah, because that's kind of like, we'll skip ahead to Horizon, isn't that? That was kind of the story with that, right? You had taken that picture when you were like at Stony Brook.
Yeah, I went to see my sister give her
speech,
thesis
right?
presentation, and
because I remember you saying like, "Hey, I just took this awesome picture that I thought would be great to use as like a cover."
It just begs to be. So they put it up here because it's amazing. Stony Brook University has a hospital attached to it, and it's the most bizarre building I've ever seen.
It looks like something out of Alien.
It doesn't look like a human designed it. It's so
it's like
weird.
That retro futuristic. You know, like,
it was built, I think, in the 70s. And I think that it's
like a science building.
It's the hospital building.
Oh, hospital.
But it is also a science. There's labs and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I think that Stony Brook in general has a very brutalist architecture. It's like a Soviet apartment block. It is. I mean, it is. It's just like concrete.
A lot of the SUNYs are like, Albany's kind of like that too.
Albany's like that too. New Paltz is the only one that has some aesthetic to it, I think.
Yeah.
But the Stony Brook one it's either hyper modernist, everything's glass and steel, or it's brutalism. 70s, just concrete, slit windows. It's very weird. But the hospital isn't even that. It's a cube with rounded edges, and along all 4 corners of the cube are these big circular port windows. So it looks like a submarine, like a cubic submarine, like a Borg cube, and it's attached to a smaller version of itself by a series of walkways that extend over just like nothing. It's the weirdest building I've ever seen, and I'm like, it doesn't look real. It looks fake. It looks like an imagining from like an Asimov book, you know, it looks like something from Foundation.
Right.
And I was like, it's such a cool building. It'd be such a good album cover for anything that kind of evokes something epic, you know, or something bizarre. And the title of that song was just so perfect for it. I'm like, it could have been a sci-fi novel. It could have been a sci-fi novel title. You know, it was amazing. And you dropped me that.
It makes me like want to write like a sci-fi story.
That would be great. Well, you dropped me that song, and I was like, I know exactly what we're gonna do now.
It was funny. It was like that one. I think that one especially was one where I sent it to you, and you were like,
I know what I'm doing.
I just already like.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I was literally just took this picture when I was at.
I'm just picking fonts now.
I really like fantasy too. It's just like that really quick sketch of like a wizard on like a notebook
that one was
paper.
fun. That one was fun.
I must use that as the like cover of the album too, because we'll get into that too in a second. But because I just love the aesthetic of it's just so simple, but it evokes like, I don't know, like almost like childhood, but
I thought when I listened to that song, it reminded me of the kind of bullshit drawings I did in like elementary school.
Yeah.
Like this like. I love fantasy still, but I was really into fantasy novels when I was like probably 13 or 14, which is the perfect time to be really into them.
Yeah.
And I would just draw on all my notebooks. I was the worst student, and I would draw like dragons and monsters and Lord of the Rings shit on on everything. And I'm not like a great artist when it comes to like drawing people. I have a very weird style. It's all stylized, you know. I'm not like a photorealistic, you know, artist. Unless I'm doing certain scientific drawings, insects, plants, and things. I'm pretty good at. But people, I can't.
More
draw.
like cartoony or like comic booky.
When I draw people, it's very cartoony.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for some reason, that's when I draw them. It comes out in this very distinct comic book style.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that song, I mean, especially the title and like the sound of it, I was just like kind of nostalgic for that.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd draw something similar to what I might have drawn then.
Yeah.
But for all the Be Cool Cowboy stuff where I've drawn things, the mic drop song.
Oh yeah.
That and Teeth and Gasoline, which hasn't been dropped yet.
That's something we'll talk about.
They all have X-Eyes.
Right.
And I decided to make that just a thing for the Be Cool Cowboy stuff.
That's funny that now that you mentioned that. Yeah.
I don't know where that came from exactly.
I'll have to put those all up on the screen.
Yeah. So I figured that would just kind of be the signature for the drawn.
That's sick.
Be Cool Cowboy stuff.
That's awesome. I just like too how it's like figure one and you kind of like label some of the stuff.
Yeah.
it just fit. Like I feel like all of them just fit. And then we had Just a Trick, which is the album cover now.
Yeah.
So like I didn't realize too this was a picture that you had taken.
Yeah, I took that picture in Norway actually. So if you look close, none of the graffiti or none of the posters are in English. They're all in Norwegian.
And it was kind of just like it was just like a wall it was like a post no bills type of thing.
It was like basically. But Tromsø is the town I was in. It's kind of a small town with like a pretty active music punk scene.
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of those flyers, like if you look, like
most of them are for bands.
Three guys. There's like three guys in like a suit. They almost look like they could have been like, like 2000s like rock band. I know that's like more recent than that, but
yeah,
you kind of get the vibe.
It is kind of that vibe though. It's like a very, it's an interesting little town though, and it's got a lot of, like there's like a lot of anarchist posters and graffiti everywhere, and the poster game was on point in Tromsø, and a lot of the walls of it's Norwegian architecture, so it's a lot of the buildings are relatively new. They're like metal siding, metal roofs, and like super insulated because it's cold as hell. And so they're very boring. It's just white and red basically. So they just get covered in posters. And a lot of the walls, you could not see the wall anymore. There's just like decades of posters just caked on. And that was the most covered wall I saw. And I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
So I took a shot of that. And I was like, I'll use it for something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
And then Just a Trick, you gave me the title and the song for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what would be cool? I feel like Just a Trick is something you'd see scrawled on like the back of a stop sign or something.
Yeah, like in the like graffiti.
It could be like in New Paltz where we live. There's people who just like write weird phrases on things.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of them mean, but there's phrases like you just see them again and again throughout town, and they're all written in this like very like 90s graffiti style. And I was like, it'd be really cool to somehow superimpose Just a Trick as if it were graffitied on that wall there.
Yeah.
And so I, just did a little image editing and made it look like it was
it looks
written
like
on the wall.
I know, and it's funny too. It's like now that you mention it, since it's like because there is other graffiti on that pole.
Yeah. I just tried to copy it.
It's like Norwegian it's in like Norwegian or something.
I think it's people's names.
Okay,
but it isn't. They're Norwegian names. I don't know how to pronounce them.
Well, it's funny because it's funny knowing that picture is from. It's from it's not from the U.S.
No,
it's cool. It's like, I just like. So that was originally like, so I think all those came out really sick, man.
Thanks.
It's really cool.
They were fun to make too.
And then I just kind of, so initially though I had told you the title of because I had this idea for the title was going to be Teeth and Gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that.
It's cool.
And I thought it would fit, and I think it fits like a Be Cool Cowboy thing, but. Like the way that this project wound up and how quickly the art came together and everything, it was kind of it didn't feel like that matched the aesthetic of this. But I know because I had asked Tim to work on that prior to even I think doing anything, because I was like, I want to put something out. Because initially I was thinking of doing a B-sides thing that has Me and the Machine, Wild Lies, Wonders of Color, and now this doesn't have any B-sides, but because I had a ton of tracks. I probably have I was thinking about doing this compendium 20 track thing that was
that'd be cool.
all B-sides, and just kind of just as a way of
sure.
getting something else out there and just putting them all out. But that's what I was thinking initially of using for this.
Yeah.
Teeth and Gasoline. But so you want so you started working on that too.
Yeah, I mean it's done now.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
It's one of the drawn pieces. There's no manipulation really with the computer.
Yeah.
It's just paint and a little bit of touch up. In Photoshop, but it's.
And did you because it looks like it's almost affected? Did you
Yeah, I rasterized it a little bit, so it's you pump up the contrast a lot and you kind of mess with the settings. So I wanted to make it look grungier. Than it is, because it's really just pen and ink and some watercolor and stuff. But I wanted to make it look really. I wanted to make it look gnarly.
Yeah. Because it does look almost like a coffee stain or gas stain.
Yeah, I wanted it to look like it was left out in the rain, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it came out pretty good.
It's yellowed,
So that's something that, now that it's done, listening to the album, it's you're right, it doesn't really work for that album. But I think that it's going to inspire something in the future, hopefully.
And that's the whole other thing with this is it's just funny is that I'm almost I want to write a whole different... I almost want to look at that because I've never done this before. This could be a cool project, and then talk about this in the future, having a piece of art and then writing songs to it. It's kind of like that piece of art you did with the Fox. Yes, and I'm always like, I always see that at your apartment, and I'm like, I want to like use that as art for something, but like write an album that fits that art.
Yeah.
You know, because that reminds me, maybe we could show that too. That reminds me of like, I don't know, almost like a Neutral Milk Hotel or like Margot and a Nuclear So and So's. Like,
yeah, it's a bit
some kind of like acoustic, like.
It's a bit like sad.
Yeah.
Folk.
Like nostalgic.
Yeah, there's something about that. I did that piece a long time ago. I wasn't really even thinking about it to be used in that context.
Yeah.
But
because it's in like a frame.
It's in a frame. Yeah. It would make a really good album cover though, because it's square. Yeah. It's also just like its symmetry is designed for that shape.
It looks like it could have been like a record, or like it looks like it would, because I think it's exactly.
It's 12 by 12. It would be a good record.
Yeah, because it almost looks like it's like a record that's framed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would make a really cool one.
Yeah.
But to do that, I think it would be a better John Wilkes Phone Booth album.
Yeah, that's true.
We'd get Ben on the fiddle.
It would totally fit that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Brian doing the mandolin stuff.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Justin would do some horns or something.
Because you know who I really like. True, you know who I've been really getting into lately is this band Girlskin. They did a song for that Planned Parenthood CD that we put out. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
We gave Hollandaise
to
that like compendium thing.
Planned Parenthood comp.
And
it's on
the
Spotify.
song, it's really good. All the bands in it are great.
Yeah.
But one of them, my favorite song on that, is this song "Seed" by this band Girlskin, and it's like, I don't really, it's like emo. It's really just, it's great. I don't really know how to describe it, but when I hear that band, I'm like, that would fit.
Yeah.
With them, and you should listen to them. They're awesome. It's a total digression.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I never. I don't know. I wonder how that would come out. Like looking at taking that piece of art, because I think that would also fit Teeth and Gasoline for like the B-side thing I want to do. But then I was like looking at that, I was like, this is almost like too good to just prefer on like a B-side.
It's like you don't even want to use it for that.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like it's interesting enough to be its own thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's how I felt about Just a Trick. I mean, all that art too. I was originally thinking of calling this thing Fantasy, even Big Deal Man. Like I just like those are kind of the 3 big tracks for me. I think on this, and it was like, I also just think Just a Trick, like it looks like an album cover.
Yeah, it's the most album cover looking. Because the rest of them are single covers.
Yeah,
it's obvious that they are.
Yeah,
you know.
So that's really cool, man. This is awesome. Like how it all came together, dude.
Yeah, it came out great.
Thanks so much for
Thanks for letting me help. It was fun,
dude. My pleasure.
It's good stuff, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm always down to do more. I mean,
yeah.
This is like keeps me away from my science.
Well, that's what's cool, man. Like, and I feel like you have, because like the art for me, like it's like I could do stuff for it, but it's just like another thing. There's just like too many things like you have to do with this stuff where it's like it's just another thing I don't have to worry about. It's like it's nice that I can just be like, Tim, like call you up or, hey bro, I got this thing.
Give me a.
Because then it's always just like right back. You throw it right back.
I'm always down for it.
It's like amazing.
I'm always down for it because it's it's fun and it's a good excuse to actually use some of these things. Do some of these things that I like doing that are not.
Yeah, it's like what we talked about in the podcast.
Yeah, it's not stuff that I do normally in my day-to-day life. Yeah. So it's like an excuse to like practice and learn new things about art is always like fun for me and exciting.
And they're like, it's kind of like how you described Be Cool Cowboys. Some of the early stuff, it's like grunge bites. It's kind of like art bites. It's like you can get into the art for like however long, a couple hours, and or however long it takes, and just shoot it out. It doesn't have to be this elongated project that takes you like. I think that's a great way to work. I think that's like a great way to sum up the whole record too.
I agree.
The whole EP is like, because like I said, like these are all been like 30-minute, hour-long recordings and writing them, and I'm excited to try to do that, move that more into the future. But I think just like the nature of like modern living, it kind of makes it hard sometimes.
I feel like you were ahead of the curve
really?
With the Be Cool Cowboy thing. Like no, that whole aesthetic of like
the short
of short, quick hits.
Yeah.
I think was because when did Me and the Machine drop? That was like 2015, 14?
Like probably 15, 16.
And I feel like we stopped. I feel like around 2016, 17, everyone started talking about, oh, the news moves so fast, the world is going crazy, everything, a day feels like 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
And you had, and now everything's got to be quick. Your news is like a 10-second news clip.
Yep.
Nobody can get into any detail because we're all too busy all the time and everyone thinks go, go, go. Be Cool Cowboy was way before all that. It was before that trend, and it was like, it saw the writing on the wall. It was like, we're going to have no time. So here's the plan.
Here's the plan.
2-minute songs, you know, nice and quick. They're really good. You can listen to them more than once, obviously. Yeah. So it was very prescient.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
You were tapping into the collective unconsciousness, I think.
Yeah, definitely.